Hi guys, Bolt here once again with more Steel Division Normandy 44 battle group reviews. This one is my own personal battle group, and yeah, kind of a little bit different than what other people do. They kind of go over through all of the units in a battle group, but this is my personal selection or composition. So let's quickly jump into, before we jump into that, let's actually talk about this for a minute. So Panzer Lehr, really good in phase B and C. You pretty much get all of the tanks ever made by the German military in phase B, but in phase E you don't get anything. You don't get any armor in the tank tab. You get really crappy support. You have okay-ish anti-tank. You have some good artillery and some good airplanes, but that is pretty much it. So you cannot really hold an open field until phase B, like at least if the enemy actually is competent and knows how to push you. But yeah, let's go through that. So in the recon tab, I kind of balanced out my phase A by getting some of these Pumas. Really good units with their 50mm, 10 AP on that thing as well, and 5 accuracy. So quite a good unit. Fires like 1 every 9 seconds or so. Really, really nice recon slash, I would call it a support unit slash anti-tank. It's just a good unit overall to have in a recon tab, to be honest. Besides that, we also have the SPW234/1, kind of like a Puma but with an autocannon instead of a 50mm, so 20mm with 4 AP and 6 accuracy. Good as a secondary support unit. Like if you combine these two, this will probably do a lot of panicking damage or stunning damage, and the Puma will probably take it out or vice versa. So yeah, to top that off, we also have some infantry recon in phase A, the Spa-Troop, and or Speertroop, however you pronounce it, and that's pretty much all of our recon really. Like that is pretty much the only recon you can get in the first place. Like you can go for the Elf-Claren, but it's only a 2-man squad, and I want my guys to be actually, you know, be able to hold their ground with these guys. They have an MG, some good rifles, and MP40, so they were able to do quite a lot of damage. It also come into half track, and the Elf-Claren only come into Kubel. So yeah, you get a good amount of firepower in phase A only in the recon tab. Let's quickly jump over to infantry, where you really lack a lot of infantry. You only get 6 Panzergrenadiers in phase A. Now that might not sound like you don't have enough infantry, but it's composed out of 3 cards, so you would pretty much fill up half of your deck with 6 Panzergrenadiers, and I don't really think that's what you want to do. With this deck, you kind of want to play semi-defensive in phase A. If the enemy really pushes hard, you need to go full defense and just whip out all of your anti-tanks and artillery, but yeah, that is pretty much the only way you're gonna win with this deck. And yeah, in phase A you really need to pay attention to all of your units. So Panzergrenadier Führer, 4 Panzergrenadiers in the SDKFZ 251/1 half tracks. Nice units to have. It's a 10-man squad as well. Play defensive with these, don't rush them out. You only have 4 of them. We also have an MG42 as fire support, and we don't have anything in phase B, and we put everything in phase C because we only had 2 cards left, and I wanted to make sure that I have enough infantry. So I went with Pioneers, so infantry fighting infantry. You could also go for Sturm Pioneers, I guess, but these guys have that MG and grenades instead of flamethrowers, and grenades are better for other stuff as well with that 22 HE. And to top it off, we have some more Führers. So yeah, tank tab, definitely what you guys are here for. Lots and lots of tanks. Unholy amount of Tigers in phase B. You have the BEF Tiger, the Command Tiger. You get 4 Tiger E's. You can get 6 Tiger E's, but I went with 4 of them on a 2-star veteran. You can not even get like basic veteran tanks or just recruit tanks, because everything is really veteraned up, which is quite intense. And to help these guys out a little bit more, we have the BEF Panther, the Command Panther. Really beautiful looking tank, if I say so. And yeah, this guy with its 17 AP is gonna pretty much wreck any tank that the allies throw at you in phase B. I think the Jumbo comes out in phase C, so you should pretty much be okay by killing everything, especially just with a Tiger East. They are good enough to do all that good work. You also get a King Tiger in phase B, which is quite intense. Yeah, like the best tank if you look at AP value and armor value. Some people use this a little bit carelessly. The turret is really slow turning, so you want to kind of use this as the as a sniper in your battle group or in your group of tanks. So you don't want to just rush this out in the front it's gonna get stunned by planes and then get side shot by something like a PAT unit or something like that. So be careful with these. But yeah, you get a really huge amount of tanks. You can go for more BF Tigers, but I just went with 4 of the regular ones and 1 BF Tiger just to help them out with veterancy. A Panther to help you know, these guys out if the Tiger gets killed, because it does lack the armor compared to the other tanks. But yeah, so yeah, King Tiger to top off the AP value, and in phase C we bring out Panther A Barkman. Really good unit. It's an ace tank. Not much special about it. It's basically, I think it just adds to the veterancy. I'm not quite sure how that works because it only has 1 star compared to this BF Panther, but we'll have to check that out. And to top it off, we have 3 King Tigers. Now, you will probably not be able to call out these King Tigers, and I don't really think it's that useful to do it anyways. Like Panther A's are good enough, 17 AP, 14 armor, but you know, just in case the enemy actually brings out like lots of armor to you. In the support tab, really focusing on how to deal with infantry. So in phase A we have these 258s with their 75mm HE guns, so it's a really good support unit. It's gonna stun whatever the enemy throws at you, including like light tanks. So it's a really nice unit to put in there, definitely useful in phase A, especially with this deck. We have some supplies, which is going to be necessary for the artillery. We'll go through that in a minute. More supplies in phase B, and more fire support in phase B as well. We have these grills with their 27mm HE. Now you could change that and go for something like these guys with their 50mm, or go for the flamethrower half tracks, but it all kind of depends on what you're playing. Like if you have flamethrowers, I guess you're gonna be fighting lots of infantry, and I don't think that is what you should be doing with this deck. But yeah, I just went for the grills because of their, it's like basically a Cromwell without the armor. It does a huge amount of HE damage. Really good unit. I should say AVRE actually. So the anti-tank, really where you should be focusing at most of your points in phase A. We have 3 of these Pak 38s, the 50mm AT guns, good units to have, 10 AP, 5 accuracy, you know, a good moderate AT gun. We have some Panzer to help them out in forests with their 250m range Panzer with the 88mm, really good AT gun, or AT weapon I should say, with 10 accuracy, so they'll pretty much not or ever miss. So yeah, really nice to have. And in phase B, obviously we have some Pak 40s, and I put 3 of these in there. You can go for 4, but I just went for the highly veteran one and 2 regular ones. So yeah, it kind of depends on what you want to do. The Yak Panther not really necessary in this deck. I mean, you have all of those tanks. Why go for a Yak Panther, right? In the anti-tab or anti-air tab, we have a huge amount of Flak 41s. We have some Flak 36s to do some additional stunning damage while these guys reload, and we have some Gepards in phase A, and this is kind of also like a support unit. I could use this against lightly armored or soft targets like infantry and such. And yeah, definitely recommend putting these guys in the deck. Like you can go for Flak 38s, but the Gepard is pretty much that. But on half track, so it's a mobile self-propelled AA gun, and you definitely want these guys instead of the you know, these guys, because they're really susceptible to enemy artillery and such. They'll just get wrecked immediately. So yeah, Gepard is the way to go. Not gonna really do anything against planes that much, but maybe damage them long enough, and you know, it'll take the enemy a lot of time to repair them and such. But yeah, the AA is in phase B and C. With these Flak 41s, the 88mm, you'll be able to stun planes before they even get, you know, in range and such. And to help them out, some Flak 36s. Now, artillery, really important in this deck as well. I think I've said that a few times already, that something is really important in this deck. But especially in this one, because we have mortars. And I do have a game out on the channel. I think it's like 28 video of me playing Steel Division multiplayer, but I'm not quite sure. I basically play with the Panzer Lehr and use smoke a huge amount to basically block line of sight, or to use the HE to stun enemy AT guns or enemy tanks, and then move up my tanks to, you know, get those side shots and stuff while the enemy is panicking. But yeah, this guy probably one of the most valuable units in this battle group. To help out with the stunning, we have the Panzerwerfer, which I usually use against enemy tank blobs, or enemy positions in like in forests with that has a lot of infantry or AT guns to basically stun the crap out of them. Yeah, this guy comes with 20 rockets and just an overall good unit to have. It really pisses off the enemies, like literally and figuratively speaking. You could go for Nebulware first, but then again, these guys are not self-propelled, so you will have to keep this half-track close to it and just quickly load it back up if you want to move it. So I just went with the Panzerwerfer to quickly get out of there if the enemy's RDing me. Last but not least, we have the Wespe Artillery, 2400 meters range, 15 AG. Now you can go for the Hummels, but in Phase C, I don't really think you want to wait until Phase C, since everything you have is focused on Phase B, especially your tanks. Like, you get pretty much all of your tanks in Phase B, and you want to be able to push in Phase B until the enemy gets to 17 pounders later in the game. So yeah, Wespe definitely my choice over here. I did not go for any off-map battery, but yeah, kind of like do that with the Panzerwerfer anyways. Just keep these guys reloading. In the air tab, not a lot of planes. Basically, most of them are fighters. We have one fighter in Phase A. Now you can go for the bomber fighter. But yeah, I don't know. I honestly like the what was the reason again for these guys? Kind of forgot. The agility. Yeah, that was the reason why I went for these 109. So you want to definitely take care of or pay attention to the agility. That basically means how fast it turns and stuff. So yeah, I basically went for the ME-109. It's kind of veteraned up as well. And in Phase B, we went for more fighters. I went for the 109A8s. Didn't go for the veteran one. I kind of wanted the quantity over quality in this case, because I don't really have a lot of choices here, or a lot of tabs that I can fill out. And last but not least, we also have the 109G1s with the 250 kilogram bombs, mainly used against like mortars or enemy AA or infantry, just soft targets. Not going to be really using these against planes or something like that. But if you don't like those light bombers, I would probably just recommend getting more fighters out. Maybe like swap this guy out for maybe for this guy, the G3 with his 4 50 kilogram bombs, or just go for more fighters, as I said earlier. So yeah, that was it for the Panzer Lehr deck review, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed and learned a little bit about this. Speaking of learning, I do have a tutorial out on the channel. Check that out, and I will definitely make more tutorial videos later. And as always, see you guys back in the next one. Take care.